Harlequin Special Release and Harper Audio present Unlikely Lover by Diana Palmer. Performed by Todd Mclaren. Chapter 1. Ward Jessup went to the supper table rubbing his big hands together. His green eyes like dark emeralds and a face like a Roman's, perfectly sculpted under hair as thick and black as crow feathers. He was enormously tall, big and rangy-looking, with an inborn elegance and grace that came from his British ancestors. But Ward himself was all American, all Oklahoman, with a trace of Cherokee and a sprinkling of Irish that gave him his taciturn stubbornness and his cutting temper, respectively.
"You look mighty proud of yourself,"
Lillian huffed, bringing in platters of beef and potatoes and yeast rolls. "Why shouldn't I?" he asked. "Things are going pretty well. Grandmother's leaving, did she tell you? She's going to stay with my sister. Lucky, lucky Belinda." Lillian lifted her eyes to the ceiling.
"I must have pleased you, Lord, for all my prayers to be so suddenly answered," she said.
Ward chuckled as he reached for the platter of sliced roast beef. "I thought you two were great buddies."
"And we stay that way as long as I run fast, keep my mouth shut, and pretend that I like cooking 5 meals at a time."
"She may come back."
"I'll quit," was the gruff reply. "She's only been here 4 months, and I'm ready to apply for that cookhouse job over at Wade's."
"You'd wind up in the house with Conchita, helping to look after the twins," he returned. She grinned, just for an instant. Could have been a muscle spasm, he thought.
"I like kids."
Lillian glared at him, brushing back wiry strands of gray hair that seemed to match her hatchet nose, long chin, and beady little black eyes.
"Why don't you get married and have some?" she added.
His thick eyebrows raised a little. They were perfect like his nose, even his mouth. He was handsome. He could have had a dozen women by crooking his finger, but he dated only occasionally, and he never brought women home. He never got serious either. He hadn't, since that Caroline person had almost led him to the altar, only to turn around at the last minute and marry his cousin Bud, thinking that because Bud's last name was Jessup, he'd do as well as Ward. Besides, Bud was much easier to manage. The marriage had only lasted a few weeks, however, just until Bud had discovered that Caroline's main interest was in how much of his small inheritance she could spend on herself. He had divorced her, and she had come rushing back to Ward, all in tears. But somewhere along the way, Ward had opened his eyes. He'd shown her the door, tears and all, and that was the last time he'd shown any warmth toward anything in skirts. "What would I do with kids?" he asked. "Look what it's done to Tyson Wade, for God's sake. There he was, a contented bachelor making money hand over fist. He married that model and lost everything."
"He got everything back with interest," Lillian interrupted. "And you say one more word about Miss Erin and I'll scald you, so help me."
He shrugged. "Well, she is pretty. Nice twins, too. They look a little like Ty."
"Poor old thing," Lillian said gently. "He was homely as sin and all alone, and meaner than a tickled rattlesnake. And now here he's made his peace with you and even let you have those oil leases you've been after for 10 years. Yes, sir, love sure is a miracle," she added, with a purely calculating look. He shivered. "Talking about it gives me hives. Talk about something else." He was filling his plate and nibbling between comments. Lillian folded her hands in front of her, hesitating, but only for an instant. "I've got a problem."
"I know, grandmother."
"A bigger one."
He stopped eating and looked up. She did seem to be worried. He laid down his fork. "Well, what's the problem?" She
Sample complete. Ready to continue?